No. Rhodri.
10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. We are here. It is Thursday. We are going to talk some football. 45 minutes of non-stop talk on a beautiful game. As always, we're going to allow the latecomers to make their way across because people are always late. It's usually us, but we're on time today, so we're going to give the fantasy football and the Super 6 update for the week, which is, always an interesting little thing. But the Fantasy Premier League is not going well for myself and Rhodri. Steve Thorpe, the founder of the Free Kicks Foundation, which is also this season's charity, has the highest score of the week with 90 points. Cohen Griffith is top for the season, ex-Cardiff City legend. But the Super 6, on the
fantasy, you got to add 60 on because I've made a load of substitutes that I didn't realise I could make.
Excuses,
So Excuses. Should have another 60 on there, but I'll catch you up.
Me and you sit. I'm 45th and you're 48th out of 49. So we are not.
I'm the bottom of in the leagues before I got to yours, so I'm not bottom of yours. So I'll catch you up. I've suddenly realised what I was doing all last year. I was finishing like 500, 600, 700 points behind people. And what am I doing? I was making 7 or 8 substitutions.
Costs you, mate.
My
problem with the fantasy football is all of them. Is I pick my side at the start of the season, and then I forget about it, and then like a few weeks in, I'll make like.
I'm on it this year. I'm on it.
I'm just behind.
I'm on it.
And then the Super 6 Prediction League, I forgot my midweek round, which meant that luckily Rhodri only made 2 points. So Rodri's 5 points are clear of me. Jane Payne topped the weekend round, and Mike Richards was top in the midweek. But Reece Iverson is still top overall. The next round's on Saturday. We'll do our predictions at the end of the show. Don't forget, like I did. Luckily, Rhodri did not make up any ground on me, which is
a shocker.
Fortunate.
Absolute shocker. Gone back to last season to tune back in, won't I?
Well, you had a free round, mate, didn't you? Because I forgot.
Yeah,
and you
I didn't want to get too far away of you, so.
Of course, mate. You wanted to keep it interesting for the people, innit?
That's what I'm doing.
A man of the people, that's what you are.
There you go.
There you are. And I should introduce you as just that. I am joined this evening, as always, by ex-Salford City winger, ex-Aberystwyth Town forward. It is man of the people, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, my friend?
Sweet. So I'm in the nodding the cap. I'm in the Ryder Cup mode, so I'm giving the old cap. Or should I give it the Cantley one?
Yeah, see, that's it, mate.
I'm good, mate. Good. Well, not good actually. I've been ill all week, but
I made this
right on cue.
There we go, mate.
I was back in work. When did I go back in work? Yesterday, which I probably shouldn't have did, but I did. I was in today, but no, I'm sweet. Just got out of the bath, had a quick shave, ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll. So it's going to be 45 minutes of Man United therapy, mate, isn't it? So I got a question for you, right? And we nearly went into it just then off air. So I keep saying that United going forward are not playing as bad as everyone is making out, right? Because I think they looked like, for instance, for 20 minutes, in the first 20 minutes of the second half against Galatasaray, the crowd was up. United looked quality going forward. The problem was, as soon as Højlund scores, the defenders just start panicking and just start kicking it anywhere, going out of position. And the defending is like schoolboy. It's unbelievable. But when you look at the injuries they've got, like you go to the only team I take out of, you would say is an exception is Man City, right? If you go to Liverpool, you go to Chelsea, you go to Arsenal, and you take out 3 of their first choice back 4, they will struggle. But it's not just 3.
Who do you say would? Who?
Everyone except Man City would struggle with the amount of injuries, defensive injuries that United have got.
I agree with you. But not all of them are Manchester United and not all of them Manchester City. That's why we have the squad that we have. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it at all.
You're playing a midfielder,
mate. Still got players there that should be winning that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And me as a coach, as a manager, soon as we scored that second one off, my mind was, get Amrabat out of that left-back position. Get him in the back, sew it up, sort it out. Nope. Carried on, opened up, defence all over the gaff.
Well, I expected, mate, as soon as the second goal went in, I thought he would bring on Maguire or Evans and he would move Lindelof to left back and Amrabat would go and sit in midfield. This is before the sending off, so you'd have had Casemiro and Amrabat in there just to completely shut the game down. And Amrabat obviously has made a mistake for the goal where he's looked a bit leggy and he's just kicked it anywhere and he's out of position.
Out of position. Constantly wants to go forward. He's not a defender. Yeah.
No,
he's in there to get on the ball, be an extra man in midfield because we're going to probably dominate possession. But what when they break? It's just embarrassing. Come on. The best coach and the best managers stop the balls going in the net. The best teams every year are the ones that have the best records. I mean, goals against. It's just you can't win games or win leagues like that. It's impossible. Name me a team that have won the league playing like that, defending like that.
No, they haven't. It's
never going to happen. It's just when you spent £1 zillion, he's starting to irritate me now because he's just bought a midfielder that was screaming for in the middle there, and we've seen a bit of him, and he looks like he's going to be brilliant. He's not, and he puts him fucking left back, mate. And then I'm racking my brains here thinking, wait a minute, how many successful Dutch managers have there been in the Premier League? I'll wait for you to name me one.
There must be one. There must be one somewhere. I mean,
I'll wait.
Louis van Gaal won an FA Cup.
Oh, go on.
It is. I mean, there's not many, is there? I'm sure there's
none. Ronald de Boer, 7 games. Ruud Gullit, all right, he's all right. Cup manager. Who else?
Koeman, Everton failed.
Koeman lasted 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to question this guy now. He's brought players in. I'm starting to question him as a coach.
Do you know what I question?
What are you doing?
I'll tell you what I do question about United is their goalkeeping. I don't know what the hell they're doing with their goalkeeper coach, right? Mm-hmm. Like you look. I'm not on about the mistakes now necessarily. I'm on about when Ananef come in first couple of games, he's playing on the edge of his box, nearly on the halfway line, dictating play. He's got a confidence about him. Now he's glued to his line. Even when they had that 1-on-1 for the third goal, if he comes out like 2 or 3 yards more, he just catches it. But he's like, and De Gea did the same thing. He was glued to his line. And I just question that 2 keepers who, when they went to United, were very quick off their line. Like Onana lives off his line. Suddenly, he's glued to it. Now, yeah, you might say it's confidence, but I question the coaching, mate, the goalkeeping coaching.
Well, after the game, I said on Twitter that it was shit. Say one word about Onana, put shit.
Yeah.
And after thinking about it, thinking, well, look what he's got in front of him.
Yeah.
Yes, he wants to play that way, so you're going to have to accept a mistake here and there. David De Gea, his first year, was terrible.
Yeah.
So there's a number of things there that he can, he made a big howl. He come out, he owned it. That wasn't his fault. Why we got beat. We got away with the penalty, even though we got sent off. So we didn't really. It was 10 men. Casemiro's a liability. Just stay on your feet, man. What's the matter with you?
Well,
Why
I think
in all the time.
But I think with the one he got sent off for, he was sliding in to block it, wasn't he? And the guys just legged
Just
into
stay on your feet, man, and trust your goalkeeper.
Nah, but I think maybe that's the problem, though, isn't it? Maybe they don't trust.
You've got touch tight with him. Just stay on your feet. You don't need to dive in because he's just cute. Got his legs in the way. Penalty.
Yeah, he just fell into him.
Off you go. Sin a bit.
Yeah, he just when he was on a booking.
He's always on his ass. Stay on your feet. If I was playing against him, not playing against him, playing against anyone. If you're on your ass, you're an easy bait. Bait. You can't tackle me. So if you got a slide, then sweet. I know that, so I'm gonna make you slide and just go past you. Look like an idiot.
It is mental that like how badly they wanted Amrabat. Like they were crying out for him, and there's nobody at the club who can play left back except him. Like there has to be someone.
Don't buy that. Don't buy it. Lindelof, when they got Lindelof from Benfica, he was a right back. He played right back a lot for Benfica before we bought him. Put in there and put Dalot left back, where he's played a lot of times this year. Put Harry Maguire on. He is a defender. He'll defend. And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because he's just naive. I can't say stupid because that's too much. He's just naive. As soon as you go 2-1 up, shut the game off. Even the commentators are saying it. Oh, Man United still look open here. This left back. Even they're saying it. It's like, oh, come on. How can you not see that? And all his energy that Amrabat would have been great in the middle of the park. It's just poor.
Do you think the players are letting him down though?
Yeah, don't get me started on Rashford, Bruno.
I think they're letting him down, mate. I really do. I think they're really letting the manager.
Not so much Bruno,
down.
But Rashford has been winding me up for a while.
There's definitely a problem there. But Bruno didn't play well on Wednesday, but at least he's trying. And when he does get a ball, he lost the ball a lot, but you could see what he was trying to do. Whereas, you got like Rashford, like he either looks like he's not trying or he looks like he's devoid of confidence. And then when you mix both of those together, it just looks terrible. And then you have Garnacho come on, and even he is not beating the man as much. He's not being as direct, and he's keeping the ball. All right, that's probably what he's been coached to do. But he looks 10 times more effective than Rashford does. And I just look at it, and I look at that squad, and I look at the results recently, and I'm thinking, right, well, Mason Mount has been decent in the last 2 games. Højlund looks dangerous. So they've got to play.
Well, 1 minute, define decent. What is that?
Well, he looks the pick of the midfielders, mate. He's got energy. He's using the ball properly. He nearly scored a couple of times. I'd pick him over all the other midfielders at the moment. Maybe not on overall ability and stuff like that. But when you're in bad form, you need players in form to dig you out. The players who are playing shit are not going to dig you out because they're stuck in their own heads of lack of confidence, whatever, frustration. And I tell you what, right? Then this is the last time I'm going to discuss it. But Jadon Sancho, mate, right, can fuck off because I look at that, right? I look at Højlund and I look at it and I'm like, Jadon Sancho would excel with that sort of striker, and he is more interested in playing video games than just going, sorry, boss, and that's it. Because he didn't have to mean it. He just has to apologise so he can train again and play again, and then play football. What you're paid nearly 400 grand a week to do. But he's more interested in sitting on his ass and sulking. And you know why? Because he thinks that Ten Hag will get sacked and then he'll be able to worm his way back in. I'm fed up with these modern footballers who do not give a shit. I'm just sick of it, mate. Honestly, all of them, they're just so money, and I just like play for the badge. Like, how can you? It's a European Champions League match. How can you defend like that? Those players, Lindelof, even Varane to a lesser extent, but Lindelof is a Swedish international, played at national tournaments, played in big games, played in European finals for United, and he suddenly doesn't know how to fucking defend. Going wandering 20 yards in front and then jogging back as the Galatasaray forward is going in on goal. He's jogging back. And then when it goes in, he's like looking around like, oh my God, how did that happen? Well, because you fucking just jogged back, mate, after you lost the ball, after you were out of position. I'm just fed up with all of it, mate. Modern footballers just do my nut in. That's my rant anyway about that. There's a section of media people who think Ten Hag should be sacked. I think that I would like to see United back Ten Hag and tell these players who have constantly failed, manager after manager after manager, constantly thrown these managers under the bus. I would like to see the club say, no, he's staying, and if you don't get your shit together, you're going. Doesn't matter if you're Marcus Rashford or you're who's been here since.
That ain't gonna happen. He's a money man. They don't throw money away.
Well, maybe they will if someone else takes over, mate. Isn't it? Like if the Qataris.
But if someone takes over, you're pretty sure Ten Hag will be out the door.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? It's like, would you sack him, mate? Honestly, like say they lose to Brentford. If they lose to Brentford, would you sack him?
No.
If things go terribly wrong, like they lose another couple of games, like say they lose 3 out of the next 5.
No.
You'd back him over the manager because I think
don't do it.
No, back him over the players.
Don't do it in season. Just won't do it.
So it's interesting to me, right? How many years did Fergie take to get going? Was it 7?
No.
3, maybe.
When did he come? 1987.
Yeah,
when did he come? 1987.
86, I think. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Well, he won the FA Cup in 1990.
So yeah, that was the sort of catalyst, wasn't it?
Then he won the Rumbelows Cup in 91, and then he won the Premier League 92-93.
And interestingly, with Fergie, he had a good first season, and then he had 3 bad seasons. So, and there was people at the time. I know a different time. I do understand that, but there was people who were calling for his head. You know, a couple of years in, who were saying he's not good enough. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, they were. But if you look into it and go and read into it, and you actually listen to what the chairman said at the time, he was never going to sack him after that.
No. But then, all right, in modern times, you look at Arteta. He won the FA Cup in that first half of season. He then finished 8th, and then it kicked on. Like at some point, these clubs have got to stick to the manager.
Because we had a little insight to that in the All or Nothing, didn't we? That Edu was a big part of it. You know, he had a good rapport. So they knew where they were going. They knew how close they were. You know, they knew they had good rapport, they had a good communication, and they knew they was on the right path. And then, you know, the next season, the third season, he comes second and do really well. That first nearly all year. So it's difficult because he's been backed, but I don't think he's been backed to what he really, really wanted.
Well,
it's the same thing again, isn't it?
He wanted Kim Min-jae. He wanted Kim Min-jae. He had it all agreed, and they ended up with Johnny Evans. He wanted Kane and Højlund. He ended up with Højlund. He wanted Amrabat early in the window. They end up getting him on loan at the last minute. He wanted Bellingham. They ended up with Mount. Like, they've backed him, but they don't often get the players that they want for whatever reason. Like, you can say it's money and it's financial fair play or whatever it may be. But the fact is, yes, he's been backed, but has he been backed with the players that he wants, that he thinks can improve a team, or has he had to make do with what they can or what they're willing to give him? Because you can't tell me at the start of the summer that when Ten Hag was like, right, I want to get Harry Maguire out of the club and I want Johnny Evans to come in, and then Maguire's ended up staying.
Johnny Evans just went to train there, and he was just impressed him. That's all that did. Like he went there to do a bit to keep fit, and then the manager thought, I haven't fancy this guy. So that was just a stroke of luck for the manager. I don't see it. Mind you, he did play well the other day.
Yeah, and I think
he's a Manchester United player. He knows what the club's about. When he plays balls forward, he's not a bad passer, decent left foot. He's just not a great defender that you can hang your hat on. But he's probably reliable.
And how quickly people forget how instrumental Alessandro Martinez was to the way United played last year.
He's not been the best though this year.
No, he hasn't. But that it turns out because he was taking painkiller injections because his foot hadn't healed. Whoever's made that decision, probably needs some sort of looking into, because like he's out for even longer now because he's rushed back. But like, how many times did he dig De Gea out from a bad pass and he was able, had 3 strikers around him and he sort of managed to just dribble his way out or pass his way out. Onana's making maybe a sloppy pass or this, and he's giving it to flipping Lindelof or a half fit Varane or a midfielder at left back. I wouldn't say I feel sorry for Ten Hag, but I feel like he's had, in his first 2 years of being a manager at United, which is a hard enough job.
He's had a lot to deal with, but
so much shit to deal with, and I think on the whole
that comes with being Manchester United manager, a big club. That's what comes with it. You don't know, privileged to all the shit that goes on behind the scenes, but it's constant. Yeah. Constant. You've got to deal with loads of people. There's always something happening. It's never quiet. There's always something happening.
Yeah, I watched Højlund. And on a more positive note, I thought Højlund, mate, was outstanding against Galatasaray. And I felt a bit sorry for him that he didn't get his hat-trick, because I just thought he was outstanding and exciting to watch. The speed at which he left that centre-back for dead and then just dinked it over the keeper. That was quality.
Yeah, go on, sorry, mate, go on.
I was just going to say, and I looked at it, and I looked at the way he plays, and then if you go back and look at Jadon Sancho and Haaland, I'm not saying Haaland and Højlund are this, similar, or I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying the way they hold up the ball and they're able to run in behind. It's just perfect for the player that Jadon Sancho is, because he's not a winger who's going to beat a man. He's someone who likes to link up play little clever triangles, little balls in behind, play through the lines, and he's sat at home playing fucking video games. How much did he cost? 75 million? A 75 million pound asset who's on God knows how much money per week, and he's sat at home while the team is struggling.
Character, mate, but character. I was watching that Beckham thing last night.
Oh, mate, I can't wait to watch that.
I watched it last night, and it was at Real Madrid. And it was at the end of Real Madrid, and he'd signed for Los Angeles Lakers halfway through the season while he was still at Madrid.
So LA Galaxy?
At LA Galaxy while he was still at Real Madrid. And Fabio Capello, that's it. No play for me again this season. And he made him train on his own. And he trained on his own for a month, did everything, always turned up on time, did everything and worked his bollocks off. He changed his mind. You know what we're doing here? The players said, come on. Yeah. When you watch it, do you think he's doing that?
There's the mentality though, mate, isn't it? You look at everything.
Do you think he's doing that? Do you think Jadon Sancho's doing that?
Absolutely not. He's not. He's
different kind of mentality, mate. This is David Beckham playing for Real Madrid. And they brought him back, and they were like 13 points behind Barcelona, and they won it on the last game of the season.
And David
was instrumental.
His mentality
team was Ronaldo, Figo, Zidane, Guti, Roberto Carlos, Raúl, Herrera, Salgado.
Unbelievable, isn't it? But David Beckham his mentality was different level. When you look at all the things he had to deal with away from football, like threats to kidnap his kids, the paparazzi constantly following him around, all that stuff, that getting the blame for England going out of the World Cup, even though they were drawing when he got sent off, they drew the game and then lost on penalties. It was still his fault.
Yeah,
and
but
it's like
when you watch, I don't want to spoil it for you, but his manager didn't do him any favours. That's all I'm going to say.
Glenn Ogle threw him under the bus, mate. Glenn Ogle, like, and what makes it worse is he was his hero as well. But like,
Exactly.
Like David Beckham, mate. I think I'm gonna make my boy watch that documentary because I think the way he used to train and his mentality towards his football career, take away all the flash stuff and all that, his mentality towards getting better and being the best at what he could do was phenomenal, mate. Like, you watch him play football, mate, and you watch him cross that ball. How many free kicks or corners or crosses did you see him overhit or underhit or hit the first man off a corner? Never did it. His accuracy was
because he goes into that in the thing, and there's a reason for that. It goes into it. Don't have spoil it. Yeah, he's such a nice lad. I've been lucky to meet him loads of times. Been in his company loads of times. He lived next door to our kid for years. So I was lucky enough to meet him. He was a really nice guy. I used to see him out as well. And I was when we was out, we'd always look out for him and look see if he was all right and stuff like that. But he was such a nice lad. But yeah, when he met her, it just went off the charts. But you'll see it, mate. It's good.
So, last thing on United, you got Brentford on the weekend. Tell me what your 11 based on who's available now. What's your 11? Who you dropping? Who you keeping in? I want to know what your 11 would be.
What do you mean? If everyone's fit?
No. If it's as it is now, who would you drop? Who would you? Because I think there's players in there letting the manager down. So I think there's a couple who need to be on the bench.
Well, I would play.
Would you drop the keeper?
No. That's not even in my head. No.
All right. Okay. So Onana,
Dalot.
So you'd have Dalot left back, Lindelof right back, like you said earlier, is it?
Yes.
So who would you have alongside Varane? You would have Maguire in there.
I would have Maguire, yeah.
Okay.
I'd have Maguire. I would. I'd give him another chance. Say, come on, and play for England. Play in England, fucking centre half. For fuck's sake. He's not a scrub.
Well, he's got an opportunity now, hasn't he? If he starts, you.
Yeah, I'm all for giving people
second chances
as well. Maguire, Amrabat, Casemiro.
Who's that number 10 then in front of them? You got
Hannibal. I would play Bruno.
So Bruno in the 10.
Yeah. I play Bruno, Mason Mount, Højlund, Garnacho.
So Rashford's getting dropped.
Forget Rashford. Yeah, he's on the bench. Forget him.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I would do.
He can warm up, mope about over there.
Yeah, sulk in the corner, mate.
Yeah, do his half-hearted warm up there. So like he plays half-hearted at the minute.
Do you think his contract has made him? He's getting his.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care. Him out of everyone should know. Our kid and Paul Scott and all these ex-players who have played for Manchester United, who've grown up Manchester United, must be fucking spinning, because him should be setting the standard as a Manchester United player coming through the youth ranks. Instead, he's walking about like he's fucking Ronaldo, and he's not. He's far, far from it. Doesn't pass to anyone, and you expect him to go on from last year, and he's not. He should be the one that keeps his, but it's not. Looks terrible.
And guess what? Guess who's in the England squad? Rashford, Maguire. Is it anyway?
Is Ward-Prowse in there?
Nope.
Oh my God.
No Ward-Prowse.
Boys club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's jobs for the boys, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, jobs for the boys, isn't it?
Right. Newcastle United, Champions League.
How do we spend on that?
Too long.
30 minutes on.
30 minminutes on United. Well, I needed to give you therapy, mate. Let you get it out, innit? Because I don't want you to.
Therapy.
I don't want you to bottle it up.
What did I do? What was it? When was the match? Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? I think I fell asleep. And I woke up. about 8:10.
So
yeah, it's just terrible.
I had a unique experience to it.
When you like thinking, oh, fucking hell, international break, I'm like, yes, international break. Nice one.
You never wanted it so much in your
Who
life.
does that? It's the most boring football in the world. International, what is it? Europa Cup, what is it? The Europa League, what? The Euro League, whatever it's crap. They're boring. And I'm like, buzzing for it, can't wait. Go 2 weeks without going to work, getting near tuned off some sick clown.
So I want to talk to you, right? Newcastle United, everyone was like, oh my God, group of death. And me and you both said they'll win at home. They'll be really hard to go like to Newcastle. It'd be so hard for teams to go there and win. And I tell you what, mate, PSG bottled it. Mbappe.
Yeah, they would have been ready for that intensity there at St. James's Park. It's lively there, mate. It's proper lively. It's a hard place to go, that.
What's the weather like there?
And it's loud.
What's the weather like there?
Looked all right last night, to be fair. I wouldn't mind going last night, but every time I go, I've told you this before, it's freezing. There's penguins crying their eyes out. What's that called?
Right. I look at, just looking at it on paper, right? I look at the PSG side, and I said to you at the start of the in the summer, they've made some wicked signings. Like they've got that Gonzalo Ramos up front, they got Muani on the wing, Dembele, they got that Ugarte as holding midfielder, Mbappe, like they got that Skriniar in defence, Marquinhos, Hakimi. Like their team is full of. It's not like Galacticos.
Verratti was injured though, apparently, wasn't he? According to Rio Ferdinand.
How was it?
No, he's moved to Saudi Arabia in the summer. This is the clowns you've got to listen to who don't do homework on the TV. He's going, oh, well, they should do well. They know Verratti's injured. What?
Left, mate.
He went in June, mate, to Saudi Arabia. What are you on about?
Poor, that, isn't it? Very poor. But, like, my point is, right, the PSG side, outside of Mbappe, is not like the Galacticos of the last couple of seasons. It is young, quality footballers. But because they're young, they haven't experienced anything like St. James's Park. Cold, fierce, loud, aggressive, like, and I just think the atmosphere got to some of those players. There's no other way because you can't tell me, like, when you look at it on paper, right? You can't tell me that Anthony Gordon is better than Mbappe, Ramos, Muani, Dembele. You can't tell me that those players are better than them.
Amaron's on fire at the minute.
Oh, I understand. And form-wise, they might be better, but like, if you had
we'll see the leveler when they go to Paris, won't we?
Yeah.
See where they're at.
But I thought Tonali in Newcastle midfield was superb.
Yeah, I like
what
him.
A player he is.
I like him.
Player he is. But
yeah,
do you know what? It was nice to see the Geordie lads get on the score sheet, like Byrne and Longstaff. Like, I thought that was quite cool. You know, these guys who've kind of, you know, from the area and the rest of it. But I was impressed. I got to say, it was an impressive performance. Like, they didn't just beat them; they humbled them. And I don't think PSG will succeed in Europe until they get rid of Mbappe, mate. And I know that sounds weird because he's probably one of the best players in the world, but I think he's so for himself that I don't think is conducive to a team succeeding, particularly a team which has failed season after season at a certain point. I just don't think they will succeed until he goes. I just think the team will get better when he goes, which is, you know, as I'm sure people will disagree with that. It's just my opinion, though. Do you think United get through the group, mate?
Ooh.
In the Champions League? They're gonna have to beat Copenhagen twice, and they're gonna have to go to Turkey and win, aren't they? I think, to have a chance.
Well, they're gonna have to win home and away from Copenhagen.
They should.
They're gonna have to get a result in Galatasaray and win at home against Bayern Munich. So no.
Do you think they miss out on the Europa League as well?
No, I think they'll get the Europa League.
Do you think Newcastle get through their group? They made a great start. 4 points from 2.
They won the first 2 games. They've won the first 2 games.
Did they win the first one? Or I thought they drew the first one. I might be wrong though. My memory is. I thought Newcastle drew their first game. I might be wrong. Oh no, you are right. No, they did. They drew the first game. Won the second. Yeah, they drew with Milan.
My screen's froze. Go
on. Yeah, so I think Newcastle, they top at the top of the group at the moment, and that win against PSG gives them a bit of a comfort because they're unbeaten. You know, if they can go and get a point away at Dortmund and get something away at PSG, so that like you'd fancy them then to win at least a cut. Like out of the 2 home games they got left, you'd fancy them to win one of them. Yeah. So that would pretty much make them.
They've won the hardest, haven't they? So
yeah, you'd think so. When it's difficult to say, innit? I mean, I don't even know what's Dortmund's side like at the moment. Like what sort of who have they got there now? They got Sabitzer. I know that much. Let's have a look at their. Who did they? So Dortmund played. They drew 0-0 with Milan yesterday. Yeah, see that. I think that group. It's quite from where they are now. I'd be quite surprised if Newcastle do not go through from that group. I think they've done a really, really good job.
Will they top the group?
They're top. Do you think? Do I think they will top the group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because I think they'll win at least one more of their home games, which will take them to 7 points, and I think they'll get at least a point from the away games, which will take them to sort of 7, 8, maybe even 9 points. So I think they'll probably top the group as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat PSG away as well, but just because PSG looked broken at the end of it, like psychologically, that I think they turned up thinking they were going to walk it, and they did not. I think Milan could be dangerous in that group though, but they seem to be struggling to score goals. You've frozen, mate, so I don't know if you want to jump in and out just before we do our predictions and that.
Yeah, go
on.
It's something going on with the thing here now.
I was just going to say, just go out with it and then come back in and be fine then. So while Rod has resets his link, let's talk a little bit about the championship before we finish up. Next week we'll be back to normal, talking everything. We spent a bit too long on United tonight, but yeah, there we go. So I went on Andy Campbell's show earlier on to talk about Cardiff versus Middlesbrough. It was a bit of a disappointing result, but I always felt it was a dangerous one for Cardiff because Middlesbrough had won, or they were unbeaten, I think, in 3 or 4. And going up there is a long travel, and in the midweek as well. Cardiff maybe got their tactics wrong, didn't have a plan B, and Middlesbrough caught them cold in the second half. I'll tell you who is rocking at the moment. Preston have just lost 2 on the bounce, which is quite mad to me considering how much they were flying. Ipswich, impressive. They're of all the teams Cardiff have played, your Leeds, Leicester, all of it, the team which impressed me the most has been Ipswich. I was really, really impressed with them. And Connor Chaplin's a baller. If they keep all their players in January, I think they will definitely go up. Hopefully it'll be automatic because then that'll free up a playoff place. Leicester as well. But we all expected Leicester to be up there. We all expected Leicester to be up there. The players they've got, these are Premier League players playing in the Championship. So we all expected Leicester to be up there. Did we expect Ipswich to be flying like they are? Not sure we did. I felt like just on that Cardiff thing, like Reece has said there, very strange night from Cardiff. And it's the way I felt like, and I said this on the Cardiff show last night, I felt like Cardiff have adapted their tactics because Ramsey's out, whereas I think they should have stuck to the same formation and tactics and put in a direct replacement for him of the couple they've got. Unfortunately, they've gone for that more defensive 4-3-3, and I think it's cost them a bit of creativity. Another team who's banging form and who's impressed me is Sunderland. I thought they were very good. We did a bit of a smash and grab on them, but that's the only game they've lost in the recent weeks. They've lost 3 in the season, but they that's going to be a big game. Sunderland versus Middlesbrough on Saturday. It's going to be a big derby. That one be interesting. Another team who's really got it together after a ropey start is West Brom, and I'm very interested in how they progress because they have been close to shambolic in recent years. So it's interesting that they've now seemed to be getting it together. The manager seems to get them playing, and be very, very interested to see how they go now. Who have they got on the weekend? West Brom. Birmingham on Friday night. Oh, that'd be a good one. That'd be an interesting game. It's very satisfying to me to see Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry to any Sheffield Wednesday fans, but after the way Darren Moore was treated, very satisfied to see you rocked to the bottom of the division. I went to Cardiff Rotherham on Saturday, and I thought Rotherham offered absolutely nothing. And I would, if I was a Rotherham fan, I'd be worried. I cannot see how they. We're only 10 games in. I cannot see how they stay up. They was so poor. I thought Cardiff let them off the hook a little bit in some ways by the way we played. We almost played a bit too defensive. We played that 4-3-3. Who else have we got? QPR. Don't know what's going. QPR is just a weird club, man. Reece says a quick mention of Wrexham. Defensively as shambles, not as prolific up top. Top 10 season would be a great achievement for him. Yeah, admit you look at some of the players they've signed. They got James McLean playing up front. He's decent. Who else did they sign? They signed another striker. Who was it? Scotland international. That's gonna bug me. Someone will tell me in a chat. Who did sign for Wrexham fairly recently? Scottish international striker. But yeah, if those two get going at that level, they could score goals for fun. It's whether they're able to. Fletcher, that's it. Yeah, I think if Fletcher and McLean can play, they're obviously getting on a bit now in terms of age, but I think they're young enough that they can do some damage at that level. They're both of them are quality, and I think they could do some damage. But it's whether they're there for the money. Are they there? Do they buy into it? If Wrexham could finish top 10, that'd be remarkable, and then push on next year. Because if they finish top 10 in the summer, they'll sign some players, and I believe they'll go up there next year because they've got more money than any of the other clubs in that league. Even the likes of Salford can't compete. So it's gonna be interesting, man. Let me have a look at League. We don't often talk about the lower leagues. I'd like to have a look at League 2. Let's have a look, shall we, before we finish? League 2. Newport 14th. That's all right. They're not too near the relegation. Forest Green Rovers down there haven't won 6 games. Sutton United haven't won in even more. Struggling. Salford City in 17th, man. Rhodri's ex-club, that is, as well. And they are struggling, although they've won their last 2. So maybe their comeback is on. Some big clubs in this league, like Bradford, Tranmere. It's interesting, really, to me. Just looking at League 2, mate, talking to the people, like Wrexham are up in 9th, defensively all over the place, but we just look. I couldn't believe Salford down there in flipping 17th. Former club.
No, they've had a bad. They've had a bad run. They've only won the last 2 games.
Yeah, they've won 2 on the bounce. Maybe the comeback is on. Got off to a bad start, mate. Did they?
Yeah, bad start. Although we dismantled Leeds United in the cup very easily. So
who hasn't done that?
Very true. Very true.
Do you think there's a long way to go in it? There's only 11 games gone in that league. They'll be up there by the end, I would have thought. Who's the manager there now? Salford.
I don't even know his name. It's a kid that they got from United. Can't remember his name. Can't remember his name.
I don't know. Do you know
there's been that many changes? What's going on with my computer? I'll just go down my phone.
We'll finish up now, mate. But do you know Wrexham signed? Wrexham have got James McLean up front, and they've got Scotland international. I can't remember his first name, Fletcher. And I was just saying to the people then, if those two get going at League Two level, they will score goals, mate, for fun, because both of them are good. Like Fletcher's a good goal scorer, Stephen Fletcher is it, and then of course, like James McLean on his day is a very, very good footballer. Like regardless of what people think of all the other stuff off the pitch, like as a footballer, he's very, very good.
Oh yeah, for that league as well.
Just got to get them fit and playing, innit? Because they could do some damage.
That's what they need to do, but buying players that have played at a higher level. So, it's good. It's good business.
Yeah. Right. I know you're poorly bad, innit? So let's do our predictions, mate, and we'll call it a day. United are home to Brentford, mate. A big game in terms of just turning things around. Home game, got to be looking to win, surely. What do you think it's going to go like?
2-0 United.
Do you know what? As I've said a few times, going forward, I think United have looked all right. So I'm going to say 2-1 United. I just don't fancy United to keep a clean sheet, but I do fancy them to score a couple of goals. Burnley at home to Chelsea. Burnley have struggled a little bit in the Premier League.
Burnley at home to Chelsea.
Yeah.
1-0 Chelsea.
Chelsea on the comeback trail. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw there, mate. Everton at home to Bournemouth.
Ooh. Go with a home win. 2-1. 3-1.
Interesting. I'm going to go with what's Bournemouth's form like? Do you know?
Shit.
Shit, innit? But Everton's shit as well. I'm going to go 1-0 Everton. Home win. Palace at home to Forest. That's a difficult one to predict. Palace got to be buzzing after beating United at Old Trafford, surely.
Yeah, 1-0 Palace.
I'm going to go 1-1 there again. Draw fest this weekend. Brighton at home to Liverpool. After winning 4 on the bounce against some good teams, they lost to Liverpool. Lost to Tottenham. Brighton seemingly beat United, and then have struggled elsewhere. They've lost 3 of the last 5, and have only won 1 in 5.
3-2 Liverpool.
3-2 Liverpool. I'm going to go with 3-1 Liverpool. But I'd also wouldn't surprise me if Brighton won 3-0. Arsenal versus Man City at Arsenal. The big game of the weekend. Arsenal having a bit of a wobble, but so have City in the league. City lost 2 on the bounce.
City 2-0.
2-0 to City. I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal.
Piss off. With no Saka.
Well, he's out, is he?
Yeah, he come off his hamstring.
Oh, I agree. I'm changed that then to 2-1 City. Can't be having Arsenal with no Saka. 2-1 City. There we go. And Cardiff versus Watford. At Cardiff.
Home win. 2-0.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with 3-1 Cardiff there.
What other championship games are there?
I'll tell you right now, mate. I
Who've
know Sunderland versus Borough.
Yeah. Sunderland versus Borough.
Teesside derby.
2-2.
2-2. You got Birmingham versus West Brom on Friday.
Derby.
Close one, isn't it?
1-1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with West Brom there, 2-0. You got Coventry, Norwich. Norwich will win that.
Don't care.
Yeah. Here you are, big one, top of the table clash. Ipswich versus Preston.
Ipswich 3-1.
Yeah, I think Ipswich 3-0. Who have Leicester got? Can't find them. Leicester not playing, are they? Because I cannot find them anywhere.
Playing Sunday.
Doesn't seem to be.
Who've Leeds United got?
Leeds United versus Bristol City.
Away.
Yeah.
Oh, they get beat there. They can't play away from home. They'll get beat.
Oh, yeah. Leicester play Stoke.
Away.
Home.
Easy home win. Leicester.
Easy. And then to finish off, the Jacks, everyone's least favourite team, Swansea City, away to Plymouth Argyle. Come on, Plymouth. Plymouth will win that 1-0.
Yeah, they're doing well, aren't they, Plymouth?
Yeah, they're in found a bit of form, mate. I think, Plymouth 1-0 for me there.
Yeah.
They're right next to each other. Swansea have won 3 on the bounce, mind, but I'm never going to pick Swansea, so that's just the way it is, isn't it?
Sure.
A couple of comments. Reece says, personally, I respect James McLean. He stood strong in his views. All the hate, the death threats, and the bullets sent to him, and then he has some banter back, and people go nuts.
Who's that?
James McLean.
Yeah. They're very... No. This is why... This is top two things I stay away from, or try and stay away from. Religion and politics.
Yeah.
People get very serious around them two subjects.
My thing with not just about that, but like football fans generally, right, is you can have these guys, they will scream all the sorts of abuse of footballers, like some of the most horrendous things you've ever heard, you can ever think of, and then as soon as the players will give it like that, or give it a bit of back, give something back, or say something back, it's like, oh, how unprofessional are you? This, that, and they're all like, they get their knickers in a twist, and it's like, come on, if you're gonna give it out, gotta take it back, innit?
Totally agree, yeah.
Right, we spent a bit too long on United tonight, but it was an interesting conversation, mate, because I think it's wild what's going on there. So it's interesting. Next week will be all about the Arsenal versus Man City game this weekend. Arsenal, can they finally man up enough to beat City, or will City have them in their pocket again? I think we all know.
At the Arsenal as well?
Yeah. At Arsenal. Be interesting, mate, because Arsenal have looked decent, but we'll see. Always a pleasure, mate. Get well soon. I'll speak to you on the weekend, my friend.
Laters.